Good morning, everybody. My name's Gerald Neal from Dynamic Creations, Transformational Coaching. Welcome to today's live Zoom guest, who is Graeme Armstrong, the author of The Young Team. Graeme's going to talk predominantly about his experiences of navigating the gang culture of North Lanarkshire, but also his academic and education achievements, where he is just now, and his tremendous community work that he does, visiting schools, prisons and other community groups, just talking about his experiences, but also highlighting violence resistance, and also talking issues around about substance misuse as well. So with that, I ask you just to chill out, relax and get tuned into Graeme, and we'll just unmute you, Graeme, and it's over to you, Graeme.
Morning guys, thank you very much for tuning in, and thanks for that introduction. My talk actually is around gangs and spirituality today, so it is a wee bit different. It's something I've not actually spoken on yet. It's a bit off-piste from my usual, to be honest with you, and if you see me in the media, I'm often being compared to train spotting and stuff, so that hopefully this gives you a different perspective. Alright, I was thinking about actors this morning, and a story I heard recently by a journalist, right? And I don't know if you have heard of Mark Miller. He's a comic book guy for Coatbridge that does Kick-Ass and Wanted. And apparently, right, this is a true story, he was in Glasgow with Brad Pitt. And he said to Brad Pitt, do you want to go for a beer at my local? And Brad Pitt said, aye, no bother. Brad Pitt said, do you want to go for a beer at my local in Coatbridge? And he says, aye, right. So the two of them went to Coatbridge and they went to a bar in Gartsherry called La Ronde. And it's affectionately called the Bammy, this thing. And it's a rough pub, right? The two of them are sitting having a pint of Tennent's, and this guy walks up to me and he goes, yo, you look like that fucking Brad Pitt, by the way. He said, you're too small, but, right? And I was thinking to myself, Brad Pitt in Coatbridge, an actor in Coatbridge, and I thought, do you know what? We've got loads of actors in here doing Coatbridge. Most of them are about 11 to 13 years old, right? Just think on that. Guys, my talk's on gangs and spirituality. And I'll introduce myself. So my name's Graeme Armstrong. I'm 28-year-old. I'm from Airdrie in North Lanarkshire. In my teenage years were spent within gangs. What we would refer to here is young team culture or NED culture. And I was involved in two gangs as the years went on. The Young Mavis in Airdrie, which is where I'm from, and then the Langhill Toy in Coatbridge after being expelled from my first high school. My experiences are first-hand, guys. And it's important to say before we even start that I accept full responsibility. You know, people often said to me, oh, you just get in the wrong crowd, son. But that's a kind of absolution of responsibility, and I don't accept that, right? Because see, back then I was one in the wrong crowd, you know. But there's another important distinction I like to make before I go on, that I'm no poverty experienced. You know, my mum had her own house, she always worked, there was no drugs or alcohol in my home, so I was very privileged in that way. And that wasn't the case for everybody, I know that. So, people sometimes said, why did you go for reals? You know, like you had a mum that worked, you know what I mean? There was no drugs or alcohol. Why me? And I think it's really actually quite simple in saying that, you know, I had an ace, you know, and actually as I started to learn about adverse childhood experience and stuff like that I examined my own life in that way, you know. There was a reason why I drank more alcohol and I took more drugs and I was more prone to violence, you know, and teachers often said to me, it's because you're tall, it's because you look older. I'm 6'2", right? Between the age of 11 and 13, I grew 5 or 6 inches and I went right up to over 6 foot, so I was a big wee guy, you know what I mean? But actually it happened a lot before then, guys, you know, like my dad died when I was 3. It's just natural causes, he had cancer and he died, and my mother never remarried. So I think, to be honest with you, looking at that, right, the death of a parent in early years is an absolute textbook ace. And people discounted the grief, right, because they said, oh, you were only 3. But to be honest with you, right, in your most formative years, the death of a parent is like a seismic shift. Do you know what I mean? There's unhappiness in the home, there's stress. And while my mother done an amazing job and she shielded us for that, I was different to the other guys around me, right? So I had this psychological pressure, you know, and I'd started like separation issues, so I was quite violent when I was young. I was withdrawn, I was showing signs of anxiety and stress. I was involved with child psychology, and I had forgot a lot of that, to be honest with you. And see, when you're that age, it doesn't really make any impact on you, man. You just go to these meetings and talk, and I was only maybe 3 or 4, or not even that, you know. By the time I went to school, I was settled, but it was still there. Do you know what I mean? And then growing up, it wasn't so much the grief of the loss, it was more the grief of the empty space, you know. So I was excluded. You know, we live in a very football-centric society, but I didn't have anybody to go to football with. Do you know what I mean? I didn't really get football. Didn't know football players because I existed in a female environment. You know what I mean? I only had one other guy in my family, and I wasn't that close. So I wasn't involved in sports. I was a wee bit overweight. I was a wee bit withdrawn. So when I was about 11, 12, and Ned culture was exposed to me, I committed wholeheartedly to that, right? Because I'd never really been good at anything up to then. And honestly, guys, I was the best Ned about. I was the best Ned in Airdrie. I had a fucking Mera Peak. I conned my mom to get me a Mera Peak, you know what I mean? Because I was going like a camping trip, I'll tell you about in a minute. Right? And I was like, the leader was like, "That's a great jacket, by the way." And I said, "Oh, fuck you, I'm not wearing that. That's getting in the cupboard. I mean, that's for Airdrie." So honestly, guys, I was the best wee Ned about, honestly, and I loved it. I actually I found a home, you know what I mean? I had my hair dyed like this, and it was a bit more yellow. I hadn't found the toner and all that. But basically, we used to go to Boys Brigade on a Friday night, and they put it on a Friday night in Airdrie because they knew how bad the antisocial behaviour was with drinking and all that. So, and I remember the first time I didn't go right, so my mum was like, "Right, it's Boys Brigade," and I was like, "Nah, man, I'm not going, you know what I mean? Fuck that." Excuse my language. I was like, "Nah, man, I'm not going," right? And we stood in the woods, right? And it was teeming of rain, I'll never forget it, drinking cider. And I was thinking about the guys in that hall, and I was thinking, I should be there, man. I should be with the good guys playing football and doing all that. And I buried it, guys, and absolutely buried the bad feelings. And I thought, that's me, man. I'm committed to this, whatever it is. And it's funny because I actually met that Boys Brigade leader recently, and he said, "I've read your book, I've read The Young Team." And I said to him, "Listen, I actually remember that." And I said, "It was a really bad decision leaving all you boys." So, and he showed me a photo. We went back then. So, anyway. But guys, I can put my life into 2 parts, right? The light and the dark. You know, so I'm going to get into the dark. We need to examine it, all right? And the biggest part of that, how all this starts, is alcohol and drugs. Now, alcohol was always first. Smoking cigarettes, drinking alcohol. 11 or 12 were stealing beers, were siphoning dregs out of bottles, were going mad. And then you're running down the village, getting carryouts, getting merry down Buckfast, MD 2020. And all throughout my life, alcohol was a huge problem for me. I don't know why, you know, and I go back to that early remapping, that wiring, the ACE thing. You know, how could my friends drink a bottle of wine, have a good time, and I would end up in some state, you know, because the way I drank was reckless. My behaviour was much more reckless than my pals, and I think it was that early remap me and Ace that done that. You know, as I got on, right, I'd be in a state, I'd be fighting, you know, I'd actually be like a stereotypical drunk, getting that drunk, you embarrass yourself, you'd be falling asleep, all that stuff. That was me. And this graduated on quickly, very quickly, to using illegal drugs. You know, and we started smoking cannabis on a daily basis. It would have been cannabis resin back then, you know, that was a big thing. Very rarely seen herbal cannabis, but then it did move on to that, and it went on to the super stuff, you know, the high THC content, and we were smoking green, and we'd spend a lot of money on that and time. And around 2004, 2005, ecstasy exploded in Scotland, and it's not like what they had in the old days or what they have now, these expensive tablets. We were talking about £2 a unit, you know, so for 20 quid, that could get us 10, you know, and we would take that overnight, you know, and then afterwards we'd be taking gear, we'd be taking cocaine and spending money on that as well. And as we know, guys, like when you take drugs, the line between taking them and selling them is always intermingled, you know. So me and my pals, we sold cannabis, ecstasy, cocaine later, and I'd be around like the serious commerce of drugs, you know. And some of my pals, they would be entry-level serious and organised crime, you know. They'd be going down to Liverpool without saying anymore, and getting in with scary folk, you know. So that's that progression, you know. And there was many disputes around money and drugs. It was one of these status symbols, running around selling drugs. I was never very involved in it, but it would be like to say I was never involved in it, you know. Lots of people, they think drugs are a victimless crime, you know, and when you see a lot of middle class media like Vice, it's aimed at young people as being an informative space, you know. Actually, they're not a victimless crime, drugs, you know, their manufacture, their trafficking, their commerce at street level tends to affect working class males, and it tends to be them that are involved in violence as a byproduct of drugs, you know. You know, some of my friends, they went to meet this guy, without giving any too much details, but they went to meet this guy who had a bit of cocaine, and they battered him with poles, you know, in front of his girlfriend. And this boy, he was left in some state, you know, and the girlfriend, they couldn't exactly phone the cops, could they? So, and often dwelled on that one, that it was a really bad incident, and I was very, very grateful that I wasn't there. Guys, basically, how bad my drug addiction got, that I'd started taking benzodiazepines, I'd be abusing blues, and so that's Valium and diazepams, and then I'd be smoking 50 pounds worth of cannabis every single day. And people see cannabis as a kind of, they call it the gateway drug, and it's a big laugh and a joke, but actually it's a really dangerous drug, and all drugs are dangerous. You know, and I was stuck in this never-ending cycle of drugs where it was getting cumulatively worse, and I was taking more and more. Guys, the next, obviously, big part of this life was violence. And the violence would often start in the school setting. Gang affiliations, personal disputes, fights over money, girls, drugs. And then at low levels, it'd be bullying and harassment. You know, you would have an alpha environment, you'd have slaggings, square goes. And it was that whole culture of the rest of Scotland, the tough guys, you know, and that starts in school. And it's transmitted from adults and older people to young people. You know, the schools I went to, Airdrie Academy and Coatbridge High, were tough places to be educated, guys. This wasn't like a private school setting, you know, when we were all privileged. We were around extreme poverty, and we had a full social spectrum in school. You know, but fights were almost daily. Airdrie Academy, I just thought was full of complete nutters, you know. When I went down to Coatbridge, it was a absolute regimented gang experience, you know, total segregation. And, you know, the head teacher at the time was very inspirational to me. He told me, see, if you think Airdrie is bad, you're out the frying pan into the fire down here, son. And it was very true. You know, the atmosphere of violence is just as bad as violence itself. That was 24/7. The violence was a short series of flashpoints. And I try in my work not to make it a Western, by the way, and that's what one journalist called it. He said, this is a Western, but honestly, like, the violence, it was rare, right? But it was frequent at the same time. You know, it was around you all the time, right? And the atmosphere in your own head was a violent space, all right? As I say, I never experienced violence in the home setting, but as soon as I walked over the threshold, it was always a possibility, and your mind was always hypersensitive to that. And I think the minute you stepped onto the streets, especially in our communities, your adrenaline was up, and you were ready. I was expelled from school, my first high school, for assaulting an pupil and kicking him in the head. And I think by then, I was only 14, but by 14, 15, I was conditioned to be violent, because I'd been assaulted myself numerous times, and then I'd assaulted other people, and I had accepted violence as a way of life, you know, in a way of expressing yourself in our community. And it came when I put my tracksuit on, when I put my Merapeak on, I felt strong, you know, and when I was with my gang, I felt strong. Oftentimes, the violence I experienced was when you were on your own and you met another group of guys doing exactly the same thing. You know, over the course in my career in gangs, I counted up recently how many instances of violence I was involved in, and I was interested to know that. And it was 16 guys, 16 in total, and that's everything from being punched to being assaulted by numerous gang members. I had 2 serious assaults. I'll tell you about one of them later. And I seriously assaulted somebody. You know, and it was everything. It was rivals, it was randoms, it was gang members, it was guys in the street. The next section I've written is why carry, why anger. Guys, weapon carrying is obviously a fundamental part of this. I only ever carried a knife once, and I'll tell you about that as well. But the weapon I chose to carry was a springcosh, which is a police truncheon. And even at that early age, I was scared to carry knives, because it was common knowledge, or it was common discourse then that you would get 6 months in jail if you get caught with a knife. And I didn't want that to be me. But I've seen many, many knives in the streets, guys. I've seen ornamental weapons. There was a shop down Airdrie Main Street that sold samurai swords, a free set, you know, and believe me, business was good. Airdrie was flooded with swords. And I've told the story oftentimes. One of my mates' letterbox, and a samurai sword come through it, and the guy had put it through and he shouted, "We've got a samurai sword." And my mate put his through, and the two samurai swords were crossing each other in the letterbox. That's a true story. The guys, you know, so many times I've seen knives on the streets and people just put them in their pocket as a matter of course, you know. I only carried a knife once, as I say, but I use the language of knives often. And I think the language that we use is very, very important, especially for young testosterone-fueled males, because violent language begets violence. Quite oftentimes, you'll say something, you know, somebody, say, for example, somebody tries to go with your bird, you say, "I'm going to batter him," right? You've only said it out of anger, you don't mean it, right? But then this guy comes up, and one of your mates, and there'll always be somebody there saying, "Remember you said you were going to batter him? You've dared yourself to do it." And then your ego won't allow you to stand down and say, "Do you know what, I just said that in anger." See, when you're young, you say, "I need to carry that out because I said it." Violent language begets violence. And guys, I'm ashamed to tell you, I used to say very violent things. I used to say, "I'll stab fuck at him," you know, and people used to say that to me. They used to say it on a regular basis. And that became so normalised in my mind. I thought that was a normal thing. I thought that was just everyday occurrence. Somebody was going to get stabbed. I heard conversationally 12 people in the surroundings of Airdrie Coatbridge get murdered in 1 year. You know, that's heavy going for a town of, I don't know, 100,000. But guys, I stopped saying that when one of my friends stabbed a boy in the heart and killed him. You know, and it was then, and it was only then, that all those things we'd said all over the years, they became real. You know, and I'd seen other murder victims that I knew and knew of, but it never hit home until one of my friends committed a murder. You know, and it was then I was so shocked and so appalled by it that I never ever used that language again. But even when I had come to that realisation, guys, that you know, it doesn't undo the past, and it doesn't remove the labels that you've now attached to yourself. So, you know, I ended up in a house party trying to chat this girl, and I was stabbed in the back with a broken bottle, and that was when I was in my third year of university, trying to change my life. But as an old saying, guys, if you fly with the crows, you get shot with the crows. You know, and that was the last house party in Airdrie I ever sat in, because I said to myself at that point, see, if I do that, if I go in these environments, you're always going to be the guy you were. You can't grow, you can't change. But guys, I was asked a really, really difficult question by a journalist recently, and they love to ask you difficult questions, right? They try and put you on the spot. And what they had asked me was, do you have a temper? That's a very loaded question for a young guy, right? Especially one that's talking about violence prevention. And there's two answers to that, yes or no, right? And see, to be honest with you, no is probably a lie, because most people that run about with gangs and all that, they have a temper because they're conditioned to have a temper, right? One of my friends, he acted like an absolute psycho, right? And it always was a shield. It's a hard shell, so that he can put that out to people that actually won't be challenged. Because inside, he's probably quite scared. And I think that was the reality for lots of young men. So I said, I probably do have a temper. I'm a long fuse person. And he laughed. And he said, what does that mean? And I said, I was one of the quiet ones. I wasn't one of the ones that was shouting my mouth off all the time, but I was the one that would strike, you know what I mean? No bark, only bite with me. And that's a bad thing, guys, because that's that red mist, and that's how extreme violence comes, you know. And that manifested in lots of ways. So road rage when I was older, people insulting you, people humiliating you, and that humiliation is a great precursor to violence, by the way, especially with a male ego. And oftentimes we debate why men are more violent than women. I think that's part of it. It's an ego, you know, it's that need to feel macho. But I've reached a stage now that if I ever feel that way and I ever feel like I'm going to lose my temper, I just remove myself, guys. I calm myself down and I just don't be there. And that's oftentimes the remedy to that. The bad times, guys, how did it get, and what is the trauma? You know, because we don't escape through this life with no trauma. But 2007 to 2012, my mental health's in a very, very bad way, guys. I'm taking panic attacks. Largely that was to do with illegal drugs, but the trauma aspect probably had a contributing factor. 3 of our extended group died of fatal overdose. I witnessed one of them boys taking a heroin overdose, and I saved him because his pals ran away and left him. And later, he died anyway, another overdose. That was a very, very bleak time for me. You know, I remember even at 16 sitting thinking, my faith in humanity is at an all-time low, guys. And I couldn't help thinking, see if it was on the aircraft, right, and it was me who took a heroin overdose. I never used hard drugs. I thought, who would have phoned the ambulance? Who would have saved me? Nobody would have died. And it was a very, very stark thing for a young guy. I was thinking, life's cheap here. That's the way it felt. Numerous drug deaths. There was murders in the circumference. You are being surrounded by and involved in violence for many, many years. And that's transmitted trauma as well, because if something happens to your pal, it happens to you as well. And that creates that atmosphere. As I say, one of my friends committed a violent homicide. And another one that's maybe unexpected that I witnessed, serious psychiatric events. So people taking psychotic episodes because of drugs. And I don't know if any of you have ever seen that. I hope not, because it's a very, very frightening experience for everybody involved, including that person. And guys, my own drug addiction is completely out of control. And that brings us to the end of the road. And the end of the road for me was Christmas Eve 2012 at 4 p.m. And I was using drugs in my flat. I lived in Picador at the time, and I was in my last year of uni. And when you say that to people, it almost downvalues it, because people say, you must be doing all right. Guys, I was living a half a life. I was hanging on by dear life, you know, and I was using my natural talent. I wasn't working at all. And I remember that day, and I'll never forget it. It was the moment my life changed, definitively. And I was feeling worthless, guys, because I had no money to buy presents. I was alienated from friends and family. I was probably quite depressed at the time. And I started going back in my head. I was going down memory lane, and I was thinking about Christmas when I was a wee boy. And, you know, it wasn't really that special, but it was special to me. We used to go bowling, right? So it was me, my mum, my uncle, and my sister. We used to go away down to 10-pin bowling, right? And we had a good time after it, right? And I was thinking to myself, I've done that for years. Guys, my sister laughed because she's like, you've not even been to the pictures for 4 years. We didn't do anything apart from run about, right? We never went to the classes. It was always within a gang context or a drug context. That was it. There was no life, right? So I'm sitting thinking about all this, right? And I got very, very down and depressed about it, you know? And I was thinking about that former me, you know, that persistent self, who I actually am. It's not this person, and I didn't recognise myself, guys. And I think Christmas is a particular time of hardship for people, you know, around that. And something happens then. The door goes at 7 o'clock, right? And I go to see, because I didn't know anybody up there. I was on my own, right? And it was a Christmas card. And my neighbour had put my Christmas card through my door. And I'll never forget it, right? It said, Love Betty, number 16. And I knew this old woman was 84. Right, and I was thinking about this old wife coming out, right, in the freezing cold to go and put a card through my door, and I was truly hurt and humbled by it, right, and honestly, right, so I was that ashamed that I'd not written a Christmas card in years, right, and it sounds funny, right, but I was like, right, this is my mission now, this is my life has turned into this one mission. I'm going to put Christmas cards through all my neighbours' doors, right, so I runs away out, right, and I went away in Stirling Mills. I'm laughing because it sounds funny, right, but I was like, I'm going to get this packet of Christmas cards, right, so I goes away around, and I'm not thinking straight in my state of mind, right, it's 7:30 at night, Christmas Eve, nothing's open, everything's shut, right, so I goes away around, and I'm standing in the middle of a shopping centre, and I was like,
What?
standing in the middle of a shopping centre, right, all the shops are shut, and guys, honestly, what a darkness was around me. I went back to my house and I just broke down, guys. Honestly, I was weeping, I was crying. And it wasn't just about Christmas cards, by the way. It was a cumulative effect of years of violence, of trauma, of substance abuse and loneliness, right? And that was my moment. That was me. It was rock bottom crisis time. You know, and I despaired, guys, because I just couldn't see a way back. You know, and I actually think now, I think that's probably the point where young guys get to when they commit suicide, you know, and it was like that. But guys, it wasn't the end of my story, because it was the first time I actually prayed, and I put my hands up to the ceiling, and I cried out for God to help me, and I says, I can't take this anymore, not another minute. I said, please help me, I'll do anything. I mean, I'll do anything, right? And honestly, guys, I get quite emotional when I tell that story, because it's a true story, right? And it's something I've never ever told people. But at the end of that prayer, right, I was like, fucking hands up like Hosanna, waiting, right? Where's the answer? Nothing happens. And then 2 minutes, the advert changes on the telly and it's Hartley Herald, right? And I was like, I laughed, right? Because I was like, that's your answer, that's God, that he's give you a message, you know what I mean? You're not on your own. And by the way, I didn't feel alone. And it was the first time I'd ever felt that. It was like holy presence, you know what I mean? It was an Argos advert, you know what I mean? With the trumpets and all that. Guys, it changed my life, right? It changed my life. Because honestly, I got myself up, right? And my mum always went to the watch night service. I'm laughing, I'm just looking at Jed, he's laughing. What was I going to say? So I goes up, right? And I went down with the troops. They're all smoking the draw and all that. And I was like, right, I'm away. And they're like, where are you going? I was like, one of my wee mates, honestly, I've always thought about this. He turns around and he goes, you go to church? And I was like, do I deny it? Do I deny what's just happened to me? Or do I accept it and say I am a? And everybody's looking at me, you know what I mean? All the young team. And I was like, I am going to church. And they went, no bother. Nobody even blinked. See you later. So I goes away, right? And I'm sitting in church with my mom. Everybody's saying Merry Christmas and all that. And I'm like, this is nice, you know what I mean? I feel welcome here, right? And I say to my mom after it, I said to her, right, I don't feel the same. I feel different. I feel something's changed. My mom had heard it all before. I've said it for years, guys. I like to change my life. I like to do this. I'd tried. I'd been off drugs. I'd been doing well, and I go straight back, right? I just couldn't get away from the cycle. I was stuck in a never-ending cycle of drugs, right? And she was always cautiously optimistic. And see, when your mom starts to look tired when you say these things, it's sad, by the way, right? Because they've heard it all before. It's meaningless words, right? And I said to her, honestly, I feel different this time. Something's different, right? And guys, see, if you ask my mum, she'd tell you it was a Christmas miracle, by the way, because I never took drugs again, right? And I don't know what happened that night, right? Some people are religious and they say, you just imagined it, man, in your state of delirium, and that might be true, right? But I never took drugs again. And I took drugs every day for 8 years. Changed my life, guys. Very, very grateful. I get quite emotional when I talk about it, you know what I mean? Sometimes you find faith, sometimes faith finds you, right? And that's the way I felt. Guys, that brings me nicely on to part 2 of this talk, right? And we're done with dark now. This is the light, right? What does faith actually mean to me, right? Faith was an anchor for me, because see, in those first few weeks, right? And I started a tradition in the new year, by the way. See, that new year, I didn't drink for 3 months when I stopped taking drugs, because I knew if I drank alcohol, I'd go straight back to drugs, right? I stopped drinking alcohol. I wasn't taking drugs. I was very lonely, guys, because I wasn't running about with anybody. I was on my own. Social distancing, 2012, I've already done that, right? I was in trouble, you know what I mean? And because of this faith I'd found, I felt like I was now fighting a spiritual battle. It wasn't just a battle within me, do you know what I mean? And that's the way non-religious people seen it, but I felt, I was like, I'm going to make 2 boxes in my life. I'm going to make one good, one evil, and I'm going to put all the evil stuff and all the bad stuff in one, and I'm going to put all the good stuff in one. I'm going to try and pursue the good. I'm going to leave the bad. And that's a simplistic view of the world, guys. It's not a case. No, I mean, no, everything's good or evil. Sometimes things just happen, right? But when you look at Christianity as a faith, right, and as an acceptance, there's good and evil, heaven, hell, light and dark. It's always opposites, right? And then you've got forgiveness. And most importantly, you've got self-forgiveness, right? Because I thought I was a bad guy, right? I'd done bad things. And see, when I looked in the mirror, I didn't like the person who looked back. I hated myself, right? And I didn't heal until somebody actually said to me, a stranger outside the family said, they recognised that, and they said, you hate yourself. You think you're a bad person. You're not. And see, when they told me, I believed them, you know, and I started to heal. And I've met loads of people, guys, throughout life that are always seeking something. They call it the God hole, right? So we've all got this space within us, and we need more, guys. Consumerism, all that stuff, your job, nice watch, nice car, it's all nice stuff, but there's always something missing. We want something more, and I truly believe that, right? And by the way, in this recent few years, I've seen lots of people seeking. They're always seeking something. They're taking DMT. They're having psychedelic experiences. They're looking for God, guys. That's the way I see it. But they don't find it in any of that. All they find is a deeper hole than they've already been in, right? And guys, when I talk about Christianity, right, I'm not talking about Catholic and Protestant stuff, right? None of that. I'm talking about one people, one faith, all creeds, all colours. Doesn't matter what your cultural representation of that is, right? Whether you're Muslim, Catholic, Protestant, whatever. I'm talking about the divine, right? And the quest for the divine. Guys, Christianity is good. It talks about good and evil a lot, and it's very important to me, and I would identify as a Christian, right? But there's gaps. you know, and I think this is where well-being has different layers, you know, and there's no energy mentioned, there's no cycles of lives that other people believe in, there's no past lives, and there's no cross-cultural understandings of what spiritualism or spirituality means, you know, and I think when you put these things together as a complementary therapy, you know, they actually have great healing power, you know, so people have psychic experiences, that's not addressed by Christianity, altered states of being, meditation and yogic practices. The Eastern people talk about energies, about chakras, and about other forms of healing that we don't ever address in Christianity. So people feel unfulfilled when they go to church. They say, but I've got these energies in me, I feel these things. And Christianity just says, you know, you'll go to hell if you're bad, you'll go to heaven if you're good. It's too simple, guys. So I started putting it together and looking into stuff, right? And you get complex stuff, right, like universal consciousness. And by the way, that's a really interesting one, because that's kind of what, when I thought the TV was talking to me, right, in my moment at Christmas, that's called universal consciousness. Because you've said something, right? I put my hands up to the universe or God or whoever, and I've said, I need help, and help arrives, right? And see, and it's called determinism, guys, that we think there's fate, right? And we've all heard of determinism, even if you don't know what that means. Because see, if your granny said, what's for you, no go by you, son, that's determinism, right? Or if somebody says, everything happens for a reason, that's determinism. It's talking about fate, it's talking about a life course. And I do buy into that, right? Because see, when I started saying to the world, I want to prevent violence, I want to work with people that are substance free, I want to have a positive message, right? I want to write a book. People just start coming out the woodwork, right? They just are drawn to you, right? And people, like the book The Secret, right, and other people buy into that sort of stuff, right, like the law of attraction. I think that's just positive mindset and positive thinking, right? And guys, I was a very negative thinker, right? Even I had achieved so many good things in my life that I wasn't happy, right? Because I had this victim narrative, right? So I was doing jobs I didn't want to do, right? I was writing my book, I was working 7 days a week, I was no well, I'll get on to that, right? But I was like, why is the world against me? And by the way, see, if you've had a hard past, I think it's a trap that we fall into. Do you know what I mean? We start thinking everything's against us. We weigh, you know, the weight on our shoulders of the past, because it's unresolved, you're carrying all that weight and everything's against you. It's not the case, guys. It's a choice often. You know, so I got myself a wee mantra, right, and I made this up to try and stop that. And anytime I get into the negative cycles, I would say this wee mantra to myself, and I say, I'm not a victim of circumstance, I'm a master of my own destiny. I decide what happens to me and see where I'm at. It's the result of all my choices that have took me there. And see, when you start taking responsibility in your own life, it's the conditions for growth, because you actually start moving forward. Stop blaming other people. It's not your mom's fault, it's not the government's fault, it's not your teacher's fault, it's not your young team's fault, it's your fault. You chose to be where you are. Now, guys, adverse childhood experience, you don't choose who you're born to, and we don't choose what we suffer. Nobody would choose to suffer, right? But it's how we choose to deal with what we've suffered, right? And see, if you're struggling with mental health and all that, what have you done about it? I did nothing about it. I just ploughed on. Was that the best for my recovery? No. You know what I mean? But guys, I hear people saying all the time, I'm depressed, you know, I'm anxious. And I'd say that might be well a possibility, but if you looked at your exercise, if you looked at diet, if you looked at all the wee combining factors in a holistic way, and guys, that's a very important word in recovery, holistic. It means whole, the full package, the full boona. And see, if you've not looked at that and addressed all the wee stuff, because it's the wee stuff that makes the big stuff happen, you know, getting up in the morning early, there's a reason why the birds start chirping at 4 a.m. and not 11 o'clock in the afternoon. You know, and we're like that. Do you know what I mean? Guys, spiritual healing is a holistic thing. It involves faith, it involves commitment, it involves meditation. And I took a wee bit of all those things, you know, and I tried to make it work, and I tried to move forward in a positive way. But what does holistic recovery mean for me, right? So being drug-free, right? Mentorship, being around positive people, positive adult people that have got nice narratives. They're not talking about violence and drugs. I can't listen to all that shit anymore. It goes through me, honestly. And if you exist within our communities, people talk about all that stuff because they're trapped in that macho, this one's going to battle that, right? And one of my pals actually stopped himself when he was telling me a story. He said, you don't care about any of that day? And I said, mate, I care. I care that it's happening to people. I'm not involved in it. I don't want to be involved in it. And it's a choice. I'm choosing not to be, right? So they stopped telling me these stories. you know. Sport and exercise, work, right? A hobby, guys. Now, this is one of the things you never hear. See guys in the west of Scotland, they've got no hobbies, they've got no interests. What's the hobbies? Going to the gym, playing football, boozing, that's it, right? Well, I was shite at football, I couldn't kick a ball, right? In the gym, I'll tell you about that in a wee minute, right? That can be good and it can be bad and all because you can do too much of that stuff, right? So what does it leave you with? Nothing, right? I found a hobby, I found mountain sports, I found mountain walking, so I was climbing and all that. I met different people and I was starting to grow and starting to do well, right? You ask a guy here, what's your hobbies? They've no clue, right? Guys, keep them learning, being in a perpetual state of learning stuff, exposing your brain to new materials, going places you've never been. And it doesn't need to be spending your holidays, it's just continually stimulating your mind with new stuff. If you don't do that, you're going backwards, you're recession, right? And guys, the most important thing for me in my recovery, and I say this by the way, and there's loads of important things, but this was the most important, was stopping drinking alcohol. I've 4 years teetotal now, and as I'm sure you can appreciate, right, for a guy 28 years old, being 4 years teetotal is a huge achievement, right? It's a big thing because it's very, very difficult, right? My ex-girlfriend did not understand that, right? She didn't understand the need. She said, you just have a couple of pints, you can do that, you're not an alcoholic. I went, I know, I'm not an alcoholic, but I'm telling you this, right? See, any time I drink, bad stuff happens, right? And if you've lived a life like yours and a past like yours, moderation was never part of your story, guys. I was greedy with drink, and I would drink 50 times, 49 would be absolutely fine. And then the 50th, something would happen. I can't afford that anymore. I've chosen no. I don't want anything to happen, you know, so I've chosen not to drink alcohol, and it's a big choice. And it's something, by the way, is a possibility people don't even recognise. But it is an option, all right? Guys, my life is fucking amazing. I went from 15 stone to 12 stone. I was a pure athlete. I was in the gym all the time. I was earning money. That law of attraction was pulling people towards me. I got a gorgeous girlfriend. I stopped running about with all the bad ones. Guys, it didn't last. I would love to tell you that was the end of the story and I rode away, but it didn't, because it wasn't built on a good foundation. It crumbled. And I'll tell you why. It was because I took too much on. It was because of stress. I didn't realise the effect that my past would have had on my future, right? I just thought, that's all done now, man, that's done. I put myself into working 6 days a week in a sales environment, very stressful. My relationship turned sour. I was in a very stressful relationship that wasn't supportive, right? I was doing the young team. So any free day I had, any free minute I had, after work, I went back to working on the book. I worked 7 days a week. I didn't look after myself. I didn't eat right. I trained. Absolutely. I treated exercise like a drug, guys. And as we know, with any drug, that's no good, right? So what happened? Poor health, constant respiratory illness, digestive problems, became asthmatic. Now, guys, was that genetic mapping? Was that going to happen to me anyway? Or was it environmental factors? Chronic stress, right? And by the way, you don't even need, this is this talk opening up to everybody, right? You don't need to be a gang member or have trauma to be involved in this, right? If your workplace is stressful, if your relationship's stressful, it's almost guaranteed these days. Guys, stress kills, you know what I mean? And I was very, very sick, no? I actually got to the stage where I had chronic fatigue. Even washing the car, I would be exhausted. I couldn't sit in sunlight. Guys, the trauma from my past and this current compression nearly destroyed me. I was 11 stone. Guys, I'm 6'2". Right now I'm sitting about 13 stone. 2 stone later, I was an absolute whippet. And my mental health just crumbled as well. So I ended up partially agoraphobic. I was scared to go to shopping centres. I couldn't fly. I didn't fly for 4 years. I couldn't go on trains. I couldn't be in those kind of spaces, guys, because I was so stressed. I couldn't even watch a film. I couldn't even go to the cinema because, see, if I was sitting in the cinema, I'd be sitting playing on my mobile phone. And my girlfriend would go mad. She'd say, why are you always playing that phone? And I'd say, because I'm so stressed, I just can't switch off, right? My sleep was damaged. I was very damaged, you know. And then I moved to London, thinking that'd be a good idea. Guys, London is not for you if you're stressed, because honestly, I had to commute on the tube every day, right? And I'm sitting on that tube and I'm like, I'm going to take a heart attack in this tube. I cannot bear this, right? I hate it. I was terrified. However, right, I never assessed my stress at all, right? I thought I was bomb-proof, guys. I wasn't. I was actually a wounded guy from my past. Where am I now, right? I'm still in recovery, guys. This doesn't just go away. It's not just a case of, oh, look at him, he's published a book, he's doing amazing. Guys, I took steps, right? I left the relationship, I left London, finished my book, and then I need to realise, right, that I'm quite a stressful person. My mind goes all the time, right? I experience that high cortisol. And Jed, see when you were talking about cold showers and all that stuff, all the complementary therapies, they help people like us, because actually we need more, because we've been through more, you know. And by the way, healing comes in very small ways. Take a bath, take a break, take a breath, be outside, rise earlier, sleep earlier, exercise, social contact, very important. No man's an island. I used to think I was on my own and I could do all this on my own. That's not true, guys. You need to speak to people, you know. But it's hard for people like me to get new friend groups, right? Because you've got this aspiration, like, this is who I'm now, right? I'm a young author, I'm a graduate. Actually, you know, there's a lot of stigma attached to my past. And this young team book is a big fat CV. It's a 400-page CV, how much an ed I was. And that's very difficult to shift. You know, people, like, I can just imagine a lassie saying, if I meet one, I gave my mum your book, I'll be like, oh, here we go, that's going to be a great Christmas dinner, isn't it? Know what I mean? Wine dined in 69 and all that. One of my neighbours read that line to me, and he's like, and I said, Mum, I didn't enjoy that one, know what I mean? But guys, you know, restoring balance, right? And I've started to smile again and started to laugh, and I didn't laugh for a long time. And that's when, you know, that healing's starting to come, right? And the exercise thing, anytime I trained, I would go back to that fatigue, right? I just couldn't break free. I was very, very strong, but I just couldn't get back to it. And I've started doing small, you know what I mean? Start small. Don't try and start running marathons. Just do a wee bit all the time in the house. I'm starting to get bigger. I'm starting to get stronger. I'm sleeping better. And that is what spiritual healing is to me, guys. It is a package. And I'm sure this is unexpected for a lot of people. They wouldn't have expected me to have suffered so much, right, in my own life and on my own head. But guys, this is happening to lots of people right now, right? And the way they cope with it, right, is drugs and alcohol. I've got pals that are chronically stressed. I've got poor mental health. And what they do, they're like the war generation of guys. They self-medicate, they drink. Guys, it's not the answer, right? Healing comes from within, and it comes very, very small. I seen a quote from Mother Teresa, and you'll laugh because I'm an Airdrie proddy, right? Mother Teresa said, have faith in small things, right? Because that's where your greatest strength lies. And that's when I started to come back. I used to see when I was stuck in the house and I couldn't do nothing, I'd go out and wash my motor, right? Because it was the only thing I could do. And I'd wash the motor. And see now, that's like sport to me, man. I do that washing the motor and I think to myself, that was all you could do then, but it's no I can do now. You build on what you can. And if you can't run, then you crawl. You know? Can't walk, crawl. Keep moving. Don't stop. Guys, that's my wee talk, right? So basically, when I go into the young team, I tried to cover all this, right, in subtle ways. You can't, the young team isn't just a lecturer. Somebody said to me recently, it's no Aesop's Fables, and I laughed, right, and I'm like, I know it's not right, but it's an Airdrie Aesop's Fables, because I'm trying to examine all this stuff. I'm trying to examine suffering, right, in a way it's not been done before. And people always compare me to train spotting. I don't think it's anything like train spotting, right? It's talking about mental health, talking about suicide, talking about class separation, talking about loneliness, talking about addiction, and talking about lost youth. And see, if you misspend your youth, you feel like that. You feel like you missed a youth. You know what I mean? That's not a good foundation for adulthood. And I felt like that for many years. I'm trying to put that right, guys. I'm trying to join the debate now. I'm trying to be a positive force, right? When I was a negative one, I took from my community. I was bad. Now I'm trying to be a mentor, right? I'm in a fantastic community of people now in Scotland. By the way, there's an army of these people, and they're good people. And lots of them have got a faith. Lots of them have got a spiritual awakening that's happened in their own lives. And they're wounded healers, you know. The VRU, CJS, Scotland is world leaders. We're the best at this stuff. We're shite at football. We're the best at violence prevention, right? We've got a message that's going to travel all over the world. People like Callum Hutchison, I'm sure he's on. Just they inspire me on a daily basis. They're positive people, you know. And we're all works in progress, guys. The recovery never ends, you know. I need to look sometimes and I go, that was tough, you know what I mean? Could I have done it without faith? Absolutely not. And what have I achieved, guys? I've got an honours degree in English. I've got a master's degree. I'm going for my PhD talking about gangs, because when I want to make this more specific to the stuff I'm interested in. I'm interested in gangs. I'm interested in talking to young guys and actually taking them that desistance road and saying, let's change this. Let's do something else. you know. And my two biggest ones that I'm actually more proud of in my degrees, I'm 7 years off drugs and I'm 4 years off alcohol. Guys, for somebody that was an addict, that's a huge thing. You know, and I write extensively in the young team about the thin margin. And if you ever wondered what that means, my thin margin was, it starts with minutes you're off drugs, it starts with hours, with days, with weeks, and then it starts with a year, you know. And see, when every single minute of time you add on to that, the likelihood of you regressing to drugs or alcohol diminishes, right? I remember when I was about a year drug-free and I was in this party, right, in uni and all that, and all the cool guys are there and they're all smoking green and all that, do you want a wee puff for that? And I was like, nah. One of them called me a pussy, right? And I laughed, right? And I was so angry. I was fucking raging. I was like, I'll fucking smoke you under the table. And I was like, that's the stupid. That's the ego. You know what I mean? Take that out, right? I just laughed. I didn't even say nothing. I just went, that's fine. Thank you. I accept that. Move on. Guys, you know, that's progress. That's progress. And it comes in all these wee mini battles, these micro battles that we fight across the years. And see, when you put them all together, you've got a fortress, and that's what I talk about in the book. I don't want to get any spoilers to people, but it's like all these wee mini achievements, man, they come into this whole being, and you're very strong at the end. I know I'll never drink again. I know I'll never take drugs again. And that is a blessing. Guys, the faith, what does faith mean to me? It's my correction, my self-forgiveness. All that's fundamental to grow. You know, people are going to challenge you. People are going to mock you. Not everybody gets this. Not everybody wants to get this. And the more successful you are, the more people mock you and challenge you. I take that and I say, thank you. That's fine, right? I've adhered, I've committed, right? And it is hard to change your life, guys. You know, it's lonely, there's setbacks, and I'd love to tell you that it was easy and that I'm cured. I'm not, right? But this book, guys, the young team, if you've not read it, right, it's my greatest achievement, right? And I'll tell you why. Because young guys are already feeding back to me that it's the first book they've ever read, right? That touches me. Honestly, see, when guys say that to me, I feel like greeting. It's that emotional, right? One young man fed back to me, stop taking drugs. He's inspired to stop taking drugs because he read about my writing about addiction. Guys, if I never win a prize, if I never make a pound, that's it for me. That is why I did this. You know what I mean? And I'm very proud of that, and I'm very grateful. And honestly, anybody who those young men that approach me, I wish them very well. You know? And I'm just one of the wee guys in this violence prevention community. You know, there's trailblazers, guys, and there's heroes, and I'm following in their footsteps now, and I'm inspired on a daily basis. Natalie, Callum, James Doctorate, Smithy, Jed, Ross Duker, Callum McCluskey, John Carnockin, my teaching friends, Kate and Siobhan. You know, they're all making a difference in their own way. And see, when we're all together, we're very, very strong. My faith in action, guys, is me doing this. You know, it's not me just turning up at church, sticking a tenner in the collection and saying, right, you know, fuck off. Just going back to your life. It's a battle for yourself. It's a battle for other people. And it's categorically worth it. You know, people say to me, you know, guys, you're the only guy with a story because you've written a book. Everybody's got a story. Thank you, guys. Thanks very much for listening.
Well done, mate. Thanks a lot. Lots of interesting comments. Your experience is non-negotiable. It's exactly what it is. It's your experience, and you're sharing that. Then you talked about other things that are, which is really what we're all about here, mate, when we talk about spirituality and transformation, personal development. We talk about a number of areas that you have to do yourself. And I often say it, if you come from a massively traumatic background, and I need to clarify here, traumatisation isn't always just an event. So an event is an event, is how your brain records that event, and then symptoms will be that chronic stress that you're talking about, often many years after the events that's happened. And I just think that when you come from a background that you've came to, Graeme, there is no coming back to that if you just keep on doing the exact same things that you've always done. That's no solution. And I often like it as well when you're talking about the drink, the drugs and the other coping strategies we have, they're only symptoms. And what we do, particularly in allopathic medication, is that we look to try and treat the symptom. But if the underlying cause is never treated, then there'll be other different symptoms. And these symptoms will spill out repeatedly. And often I find in my own personal work, when I do my one-to-one coaching or therapeutic change work, it's often run about mid to late 20s, early 30s, that signs of chronic stress are starting to wear down the body, and the symptoms of that are depression. the symptoms of that are insomnia. Symptoms of that can be alcohol addiction, often slipping right into mental health problems. But I take the same approach as you, Graeme, epigenetically, where we need to look at the environment and we need to look at lifestyle factors. And unfortunately, there isn't one eureka moment where you just click your fingers and somebody dramatically transforms. But there is that bit that you're talking about, crawling, taking that determination and that personal responsibility for yourself. Doesn't mean you know all the resources, but taking that personal responsibility for yourself and having that commitment. And often my mantra is, I don't care what anybody else says. I don't care how long it takes, and I don't even care how I feel sometimes. This is the plan, and I'm crawling myself back to life 1 inch at a time if necessary. And if I don't have another plan, then I just adopt a process. And I think the fundamental part that I always start when I'm working with anybody, groups or individuals, manage stress. Because if we can manage stress, we can get the blood flowing back into the frontal cortex, front of our brain, and it gives us full executive function. It means we can think much better and we can make better choices, and it gives us that period of time to start changing things. So really good listening to you, Graeme.
No, thank you. I run on adrenaline when I talk often, right? And I just want to talk about different stuff, do you know what I mean? It's just these hidden narratives of young guys in the west of Scotland. I remember when I said at the very beginning about actors, we've got some of the best actors in the world in Scotland, right? Most of them are young men, and they're acting like hard men. They're actually very wounded young men, you know, who actually, you know, they're just human beings. They're human beings. Drug addicts are human beings. Prisoners are human beings. Gang members are human beings. They're actors at the beginning. They put up these hard shells to protect themselves and their community, right? Because they're scared mostly. They're scared young men. They've not always had positive role models. I didn't have a guy in my life, you know what I mean? So I had to be this big guy. Actually, I was just that wee boy that lost his dad, you know?
Oh, for sure. And one of the key things around about it all, I believe, is people are no broke. That's a presupposition. It comes from NLP, so we go to presuppose as therapists that people are no broke, but also that they've got all the resources that they need. But the key thing with all that is, when they know better, they can do better, and it's about giving people information. And normally how I find it is, it's a bit like yourself, Graeme, where I stopped going to schools. I don't go into prisons unless I can do some change. I would not go in and just tell my story, because it's a bit like years and years of getting in and motivating people and getting them to go, wow, that's amazing, whoa. And then I'm away down the road and they're left with the exact same neural circuitry that's creating the problem in the first place. So I'll say I'm quite happy today an introductory talk, because there's two ways to change. The first one is the will, so let's motivate people to change, but the next way is the way, and here's the resources and the tools that you can take away from this 1 or 2 hour talk that will, if you apply this 4 times a day repeatedly, will have a dramatic effect on your stress response. And when the stress response is switched on, the coping strategies are less likely. And that's where I'm all about it all. And I've spoke to Callum, who is here. He's got the same haircut as you almost, so he's obviously got the same shaped razor. Callum's here, Robert's here, Natalie's here. There's loads of people here. And what I'm always very poignant and powerfully passionate about is, people can change. But see, as we keep talking about the problem, like ACEs, here is the problem. These things happen to wee Jed, and because these things happen to wee Jed, then that's the reason why these symptoms are displaying in his life and often spilling out and thingy. Doesn't change it. Self-knowledge about what the problem is isn't the same as being the solution. So in a 12-step community, we talk about the first drink. So knowing what the first drink or the first drug is isn't the same as transforming the mindset, transforming that desire to move forward in your life. And there's a gap there, and that's where I think that we are in Scotland. I think in Scotland now we talk about the problem and we become trauma informed, but there's not a lot of people know how to become trauma responsive, because quite honestly it requires doing things that you've just said there, a personal holistic process that requires constant support, constant mentorship, that after a period of time your synaptic connections in your brain prune, disconnect, and you rewire them with other pathways that's taking you in a totally different direction. Honestly, I believe that people are so focused on looking back the life and what they don't want, that they forgot to actually transform that and say, what is it that you do want in your life? And that's where I think transformational coaching and inspirational role models like yourself are crucial. So
I think you're absolutely spot on. Spot on. Somebody asked me recently, you know, what do you enjoy to do? And I just couldn't answer them, honestly. And that's part of that problem, you know what I mean? We've got, what do you enjoy to do? Don't know. So we've got nothing to strive for, nothing to work for. We need that, guys. We need the good stuff.
So I'm just going to get Callum. You put your hand up there, Callum, and you're unmuted. So you're in, mate.
Cheers, Jed. Cheers for hosting this, mate. And it's good to see you, Graeme, with the same haircut as me, mate. A great talk, mate, and you're a good pal to me. And you sent me a copy of the Young Team, and it was like reading my own life, the identification I got with. Funnily enough, you sent me, and I got it on Christmas Eve when you had the same day you had your wee spiritual moment, and when I read it was unbelievable, and I've actually gave it to a few of the boys that I work with. I work with ex-offenders, and I work with young people who are on the margins. The criminal justice system, and I've worked in communities like Castlemonk. I'm currently working in Postal Park in Owen, and the causes and the drivers are different. And one's in the south of Glasgow, one's in the north of Glasgow. One of the drivers that are in Postal Park is organised crime, and huge amounts of profit to be made at a very young age for distributing drugs. And in Castlemonk, it was more predominantly recreational violence, the same way it was when me and you were running about in gangs. And as you know, mate, my experience is I was a gang member and all that, and I came out the other end of that through a spiritual path. And now I've dedicated my life to try to prevent young people from ending up in that cycle and that lifestyle. But I'm keen to know your thoughts, mate, on, I mean, I work for the Violence Reduction Unit, but I do a lot of partnership, work with organisations that I'll no name. And what they tend to do, mate, is they tend to parachute into young people's life for a period of 2 to 3 weeks, sometimes 6 weeks, run programmes, and then the young people never see them again. And then what they do is, from my experience, is they undo all this trauma, they bring it all to the surface, and then they don't do the sustainable relationship with them. Now, I've devised and developed a youth prevention programme where I made that fundamentally not the case, that I wouldn't parachute into young people's life and leave them again, because my experience is as well, mate, that you've got services at that age who come into your life and all they do is come in and out it. They make decisions for you and then they bugger off. So I tried to make this programme being sustainable in the term of that I would walk with them until they go to a destination where they wanted to be, know where I wanted them to be. We would do things with them rather than tear them. And the outcomes have been quite remarkable, and I take it's not down to me, it's down to the young people who have participated in that. And I called the programme You Decide. It was totally their decision whether they wanted to be a part of that. And I'm about to launch it. I'm currently doing it in Postal Park now, even under these restrictions. I'm engaging with a lot of young people, and what I tend to find, mate, is I remember I said, right, there was a meeting happening in the Violence Reduction Unit. There was 60 people, there was 20 people, and there was people on digitally as well into this meeting. And I told them I wanted to run it on a Friday night at 6 o'clock in Castlemonk. And there was people running that table who laughed at me and says, you'll never get engagement. You'll never get engagement after them on a Friday night. And Robert's here tonight, and he's been and he's seen it, and he's participated in it as well. And I had 12 of the young people turn up every Friday night, mate. And at the end of it, do you know what they were more scared about? The fact it was going to end. And I still mentor the young people today. They often phone me up, and I still check in with them regularly. I just want to know your feelings, mate, on organisations who parachute in, claiming to be prevention work with young people. Do you feel they leave them more traumatised than what they find them?
My only experience of this, right, is working with the charity Venture Scotland. So that was I think it was a year-long course, right? So there was a lot of infrastructure there, and the way they focused it around was mountain sports. So they were doing outside, and I was interested in that at the time. So I thought, right, I'm going to go and contribute and share my passion and all that. And I think I did see development. You know, they had the whole year-long course with a graduation at the end, and they asked me to speak and tell my story at a graduation. It was very, very inspirational for me, because these guys, you know, they've not graduated in anything, they didn't finish school, lots of them have been inside jail, they've never been congratulated, never been said, and see that graduation thing, they made such a big deal of it, right? It was like it was in Andalrig's building, right? So it's a fancy building, you know what I mean? It was proper, dress up event, and these guys, it was amazing for them. Did it make a difference in their life? I don't know, right? Was a proper follow-up? I don't know. The third sector, right? I think there's a clandestine world in that sometimes, the charities and all that, they're money-making organisations, lots of them mean well, you know what I mean? But it's the wrong people in them. It's no people who have lived experience, there's no infrastructure, and as you say, after the process is done, that's it. So I think you're right, it needs to be sustained, it needs to be continuous, and development never ends. These guys might do this, they might be doing well for 2 years and they might hit hard times again. Are they going to go back and do the course again? No, they're probably not. So I don't know, mate. You guys are much more experienced at it, but that's my thoughts, mate. It needs to, infrastructure, I said that the other day, that infrastructure is a word I heard the Violence Reduction Unit talking about, and see, as a part of recovery, it needs to be stepped out, you know what I mean? It needs to be mapped. If you come for chaos, you need organisation, And I think these things, you're right, there's no point exposing trauma, and by the way, Jed got me thinking about speakers. There's no point us going exposing the worst thing that have happened to you is the trauma, the stress that's involved in public speaking, and then going away. You're suffering, the young people aren't helped. It's pointless. One of the biggest things I think about social education in school, I think it's a missed opportunity. It's a captive audience. We don't do anything with that. That should be what you're talking about, mate. Should be curriculum. It should be actually preventative, no curative. You know what I mean? We should be in schools doing this stuff with young people right away, and stopping them going down the bad roads if we can.
I tell you something, mate, and it was quite a surreal experience, and we had Robert in, who does the similar stuff with Jed, stress management and all that, and it was a Friday night, mate. We had 12 of the young team meditating in a Castlemilk youth complex, because what we were teaching them, mate, is how to regulate themselves without using mind or mood altering substances, and it blew them away. They didn't even know their capability to regulate themselves. And we left them with tools to be able to deal with that, because what they were doing was returning to a stressful environment, whether it be Castlemilk, whether it be their home life, and we were leaving them with tools to be able to de-stress themselves and how to deal with situations, which I don't believe education does. Education teaches them the Pythagoras theorem, which they never use again in their life. Do you know what I mean? That's the reason they're even going to school. But I totally agree with you, mate, and I know it comes down to funding, that word funding, do you know what I mean? And the Violence Reduction Unit gets a lot of praise for the work they do, but one thing that I know the Violence Reduction Unit does, mate, is it invests in lived experience. So there is me, there's James Doherty, there's guys like Robert and all that, Big Eddie and stuff, and we've all got our own lived experience, but there needs to be professional experience as well to be able to enable the lived experience to go out there into the trenches to get the engagement. And I know there's people who are doing fantastic work, pure underfunded within the prisons, and I believe that stuff needs addressed to make real change. Because, like you, mate, I was looking up to the older ones. I aspired to be in Pullman, I aspired to be in Ballina, and I achieved that. I went there and I done it. But when guys like Jed came into my life and Robert, and I started to aspire to be like them, because they were examples of people who came for that life and changed their life, my narrative and my mind started to shift, because then I believed that, see, if they can do it, I can do it. And sometimes it's that simple. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know plenty of organisations out there, and I'm known this to slate them, absolutely. They're trying their best with what they've got, but what they're doing is they're just going in and they're just getting into people's life, young people's lives, making decisions for them. And really what it does is it just grows resentment with the young people. They go, what's the point in engaging with you? And what they do is they continue on that path. I had a boy yesterday who told me he's been more educated in Saracen Cross than what he ever has done in a school setting. So that just tells you, really, and he's 12, 13, and making lots of money out of selling drugs, and I'm tasked with trying to divert him. And by the way, he doesn't want to be living like that. So, and I've got a saying that I often say, that young people aren't hard to reach, they're easy to ignore, because some organisations go, nah, just get them in secure unit, just get them off the street, rather than getting in and doing substantial work like stress management with them, like teaching them the tools to be able to navigate an environment like Postal Park, and empowering them to go, do you know what, you could become an author, you could become an accountant, you could become somebody in violence prevention, because these Waynes have got a lethal absence of hope in their life. or they aspire to be as a drug dealer on the corner, because that's the only thing that they think is an option for them. They only think that's the only thing that I can fulfil. When really it's no, the potential that they have, the transferable skills that they've learned in the street. See, if you're able to nurture them and put them onto the right path, they can become anything they want to be, man. I always say that they're far more than the worst thing they've ever done. And guys like yourself, mate, gone in and, like I said to you, I'll get you up to Pullman, and I know you're a wee bit para about that, but trust me, mate, see these boys, you'll not beat a better punch. They all don't want to be there, mate. They really don't, but they think it's the only option for them. And that's how we need more people like you, mate, living proof to go, do you know what, I became an author, and what I wrote about was my own experience, and now I don't live like that anymore. And it blows their mind. It blows their mind, because they've no got examples like you in their life, do you know what I mean? To go, you can do it, if I can do it, you can do it. So keep doing what you're doing, mate. You're a good pal. We'll get a catch up after this lockdown, and we'll see what we can do after that.
100%, mate.
I want to just back, Graeme, and take a few more questions before we get round. But based on that, thanks for that, Callum. Thanks for the response. There's been a lot of discussion here about education. Some of the people who have put stuff on have been teachers. I just wonder whether Jerry Diamond, who is working in schools in our communities, doing mindfulness, whether he's able, who he's here today, if you're able to come in, Jerry. If you are, can you? There you go. So I'm asking you to unmute you, Jerry. You just accept that, mate. There you go. If you want to just come in a wee bit, because there's
no problem.
Academies come in and just asking around about. And I know you mentioned the other day that in your experience, you're not seeing a lot of gang culture anymore. You're seeing, and predominantly the way it was maybe 10, 20 years ago, what you're seeing is a lot of collections of groups of people who are coming together to find out who's hoarding drugs or whatever, and it's more along their lines. But what's your experience about taking these stress management and mindfulness tools into educational settings, particularly in deprived communities?
Thanks for letting us in, Jed. Well, in our area in Clydebank, we've got, like, is it 74% deprivation? Now, it's quite a high area of deprivation. And we looked at this a few years ago. I said, we need to do more to help these young people. So we've started, like, nurture groups, where we bring in small groups of kids and work with them. And I do a resilience programme, and that's like a CBT programme. And that's giving them skills, tools, strategies to navigate difficult situations. We also introduced mindfulness about 2 years ago, and the kids are absolutely loving that. So they do a 9-week programme. They do a 9-week mindfulness in schools programme. They get certified at the end, and again, it's all about giving them tools. We also run a programme called Seasons for Growth, and that's a programme for kids who've suffered loss, bereavement, or any traumatic event in their life. So we've got quite a lot of programmes going on in our school supporting the young kids. And I've obviously went for the Boys to Men training as well with Ross and Graeme. So we've got loads of interventions in our school, and I'm one of the ones that are really pushing it. I heard the guys saying there's not a lot happening in education. Maybe in their areas it's maybe not happening, but definitely the school I'm in, we are definitely supporting these young people as best as we can.
I'm seeing that myself, Graeme, and before, I'm just going to frame this as a question, before you say, I've been in a number of schools working with teachers, particularly around about trauma, but for them, vicarious trauma, what they can do to manage their own stress response, because they're in a much better position to identify and support and nourish, develop young people that are working with if their own state and their own chronic stresses are managed. And I go along with that line as well, that both Callum and Graeme says there, positive role models can happen in the classroom where you say, Jed, you're a brilliant drawer. I can't believe how good a drawer you are. You're great at football. You should really go and develop that. And sometimes it's
all about drip feeding recognition, Jed, and that's one of the things that I do. I'll not overdo it with the kids at first. I'll drip feed recognition gradually every day. And I see what the guys are saying about, they were discussing about parachuting in 8-week intervention programmes and then just disappearing. But one of the advantages I've got, obviously we're working in the school environment, I'm there for longer periods. And if I do my 8-week programme, the kids can then come back to me and say, Jerry, I'm having a couple of issues, and I'll be able to sit and have a wee chat with them. So I'm not like doing an 8-week programme and then going out their life. I'm always in the school environment. But I totally agree with the guys that, like Callum was saying, they're getting in and doing an 8-week programme or a 10-week programme and then disappearing. It's not healthy.
Well, but you're doing better than that, Jerry, because mindfulness is a series of tools, techniques and strategies anyway, particularly if you're doing the CBT run about it as well, with John Kabat-Zinn type model, where it's not just about sit there and go home. You're actually giving people practical tools with very short breathing exercises right through to longer term sitting body scan meditation. So that is a series of tools and strategies. So I
that's
just
what
wonder,
we're just, because what we're seeing for a lot of the feedback that we're getting is a lot of the parents are starting to see now, we're seeing a difference in the way our kids are acting in the house, and that's actually benefit the parents as well. So the parents are getting less stressed. So it's the whole package.
Do you want to come back on that, Graeme? Is that what you're seeing in the various, because I know you're going on about different schools, and what are you seeing?
The teachers I speak to, right, and they're the experts, do you know what I mean? Actually, it's the teachers that you need to listen to, because they're the front lines of seeing youth culture. And I think we're always looking for a historical perspective on our youth cultures, and they're all similar, but they've all got their own specificities. The young teachers now, right, are saying young people are returning to gangs, right? There's more drugs. It's not as territorial as it used to be, so we think that's it done. If you look at football, right, there's a return to this casual culture. They're wearing on Stone Island, they're wearing Burgos, wearing North Face, right? All that stuff is the precursor to something where we don't want to go again. You know what I mean? For a wee while there was a lull, and young people are getting stylish. You know what I mean? They're not interested in all that. But behind the scenes, they're taking more drugs, right? They've got more money. They're taking harder drugs than we were at the time. You know, the landscape of drugs has completely changed. They talk about taking prop now and Mandy. I didn't even know what they're talking about. I'm 7 years drug free now. I've not experienced any of that, but that's the modern scene, and they're taking harder drugs. You know, and the whole legal highs thing, what that did, because if you ask teachers, are they taking legals, and they say no, but what legal highs did was revitalise the drugs market. The drug market traditionally had to go, right, we need new stuff, stronger stuff to compete with all that stuff, and that's what's happened. Young people are taking more drugs, more serious drugs, and they're getting in more bother. But actually,
I totally agree with you there, Graeme. Drugs are so accessible. They're easy to pick up. It's like going for a bag of sweets to the shop for some of these kids now. So it's so accessible and so easy for them to pick up.
I was on a talk. I was actually doing a talk, and one of the other speakers was on. It was a woman. I can't remember her name. Professor or something, who wrote a few books about what the causes of mortality rates in Scotland is, and she was tracing that all the way back to the heavy ship culture that was in heavy industry that was back in Scotland, way back maybe in the 50s, where predominantly it was the male that went out and worked. There was a lot of alcohol culture there, a lot of poverty, degradation, and then a lot of domestic violence in the house. And because of that domestic violence and about alcoholism, the children were growing up chronically stressed, which would explain 50 years later where the mortality rate in the East End of Glasgow, for instance, was 50 or its late 50s. And she was saying there's a correlation between these adverse childhood experiences and life expectancy. So that was alcohol back then. Shift forward now, the same things happening with the drug culture of the legal highs. There's no doubt about that. Fundamentally, there's Natalie Logan, she's looking to come in a second there, but that lady, Laura Sutherland, who is who was a teacher, Laura? It was somebody, no, it was Marcos and Kirsten from Larkhall Academy. You put your hand up and off if you want to come in and feed back to that, but I'll get you in just now, Natalie. I'm just asking you to unmute yourself.
Thanks, Jed. Just to pick up on what Jerry just said there about drip feeding recognition, I think quite a lot of the time what we always do is we look for academics and professionals to give us a solution for the younger guys that we're working with, but the reality is lived experience is the best profession to be going into any kind of establishment. We heard from Callum say the engagement he's been getting on a Friday night. I had the same experience myself 5 years ago when it says, I'm going to go into jail and set up recovery initiatives. I was laughed at by governors, by SPS headquarters, but I had to go and do it. So going back to you, Graeme, you just said there was a bit of fear about going into YO establishments and working with the younger ones. So just a bit of reassurance for me, you're the best person, kid, to be going into the environments, to be drip feeding recognition for the guys to say, I want what he's got and I'm prepared to work for it. Great talk, well done, and thanks, Jed.
Now, I'm very more interested to give some people a bit of clarity about who you are, about Cisco and the recovery cafes. It's a completely no funding, no core funding whatsoever, relying entirely on donations, going into prisons. And what I like about it all is that there's a lot of emotional regulation. Now, see if you've been shut down for a long period of time, chronically stressed, develop coping strategies that predominantly might be aggression, that could spill into violence at relatively frequent periods. And to cope with this, the hole in the soul, we've got to follow that with alcohol. And then we go into prisons and you ask a man, how are you doing? Brand new. That's no, how are you feeling? And they'll say, brand new, that's not a feeling. Good, that's not a feeling as well. And that's a bit of cognitive behavioural stuff. But what you're trying to get people to do is a feeling is actually a series of sensations in your body, and you're getting the mind connected back to the body so that people can start identifying sensations in the body, group together, come up with a series of emotions, and you start getting people to start humanising themselves and talking about emotions. It's a process where they can start realising that, you know what, I'm a human being the same as everybody else. I have made choices based on conditions that's happened in my life. These choices meant that I'm in this place where I'm more than now, but I'm taking responsibility for that. And one thing that I need to start doing is that I've got the same feelings, thoughts, emotions as every other human being. And if I've got the fundamental basis of what other human beings have got, then I've got the potential to achieve what any other human being's done. Right? You see, once you can get somebody to buy into that motivation to change, then becomes the way, what is the way that they can change? And as we all know, there is not one single way for every other human being. So it's not like you meditate, mindfulness, yoga. It could be that there's loads of different ways up the mountain. And what I'm looking to do is become very eclectic and offer a menu of choices. But through the recent neuroscience adds in how we rewire is through repetition, through habituation, and to form a habit requires a consistent and repeated process of having a go with something. And if we can do that, particularly in education establishments. So in the prison, we say, right, look, sit down, breathe. Is somebody going to start breathing and going to change their life straight away? No, but if they're in part of a programme for a year's time and 3 times a week they're in there, constantly breathing and meditating, at least they know how to do it. Whether they choose to do it or not is another thing, but at least giving somebody the tools. When the shit hits the fan, what am I going to do? Do this. Do you know what I'm talking about? So that's the good work that Natalie's doing there. Siobhan, you've last, and I'm just going to say, can you accept that on mute?
Yeah.
That's you.
Thank you. I'm a deputy head teacher and a pupil support teacher in a secondary school in Lanarkshire, and I speak to Graeme really often. We're both from Airdrie, grew up in Airdrie, we're the same age, just about how there is some great work that's obviously going on in Glasgow, and sometimes that's not transferred the same in Lanarkshire. My question would be, especially after listening as well to what Callum said there, it's obviously worrying for us. We are seeing a total rise in gang culture again. The drugs is really substantially like a huge issue for us right now, for even kids that are coming through from the primary school, and obviously some of the work there that's been done in Clydebank, we've mirrored in our own school, and certainly some of the work they're doing, I think in Clydebank High School, the guy who's speaking from earlier sounds fantastic, but especially for guys like Graeme, and just kind of touch on what Callum said as well. I think we always kind of speak about education maybe have been a negative experience for a lot of our young men in that situation. So my question would be, if your school could have done anything differently for you that could have maybe changed your situation or supported you or helped you better, what would it have been? What would you have wanted the school to do better? What would you like to see in schools that you think would make a real big difference for the young people, Callum especially, that you're working with?
Yeah, this is interesting for me, right, because I went to 2 schools, right, so I've seen the strategy done completely different, right. Airdrie Academy, it was a lot of nonsense, and I don't mean that to criticise them, I'm just saying it was a lot of nonsense. They had us doing worksheets, and you know, we watched a video about heroin and AIDS that was made in the 80s, you know what I mean. We didn't take heroin, we didn't have AIDS, right. We took cannabis and ecstasy. What the material that they were giving us was just out the supply cupboard, right. They didn't care, it was just a wasted period. The teacher ended up an MBE, this woman. She was a nightmare with me. She was a nightmare, and she chucked me. I spent more time in the corridor for social education than I did in the class because she just hated me. And then Coat Bridge was a completely different experience. Honestly, they apparently, right, this is what I heard, and I don't know if this is true or it's nonsense, but they had additional funding, right, because they were classed as under deprived area. So they had speakers coming in all the time. They had guys from Northern Ireland talking about sectarian violence, right? They had CID cops in talking about date rape with young women. They had all sorts, right? They had lived experience speakers, people who were involved in alcohol and drugs. And did it make an impact then? I was already too far gone. I'd already been expelled from school. I was already conditioned, right? I was, 15, 16, 17. It's too late then. That's them. They're the all-stars. I went down and spoke to my friend Kate's school, and the S3 boys, they listened, they got it. The S4, they didn't. You know what I mean? So it needs to be S1 to 3, right? It needs to be it needs to be repeated. It needs to not be. My talk wasn't really suitable, and I need to work on that. Do you know what I mean? Modifying my language. Some of the young team is difficult. It's very challenging. You couldn't read that to 12-year-olds. I don't think it's right to do that. So it needs to be age appropriate. You know what I mean? But it needs to be sustained. Everything that they've said, I agree. Do you know what I mean? But I just feel it's such a wasted opportunity, and it needs to be a blanket. They can't just have, up north doing one thing, us down doing another thing. Obviously, it needs to be area specific. The challenges in Edinburgh are different to the challenges in Glasgow. So one size doesn't fit all, but it needs to be regional specific, where we're actually looking and it's reactive. Now, obviously, you don't just make a curriculum up on the go. It needs to be implemented. It needs to be tested, not whatever, right? But it needs to be no showing us AIDS videos for the 80s, you know what I mean, and expecting that to have meaning. That was just a time filler. That was all that was,
What would you say then to staff, like especially staff who don't understand the circumstances, like Matt bringing your upbringing, Graeme, because obviously there are lots of staff that don't have experiences like this, and for them sometimes it is hard to connect with people who really have an understanding. And although in Scotland we've had this huge awareness about ACEs and trauma, which is great that it's filtering down to staff, I think it's fantastic. There's a big difference, isn't there, between giving people the information and actually getting them to understand how that has an impact on young people. So if you had to basically speak to staff in a full school for one day, what would be the one piece of advice you would give them about how
that's
to work
exactly
with
what we
people?
did. That's what we did, right, with Kate and down at St Andrews, right? She said there's no point you coming in and just talking to pupils. It needs to be 50% pupils, 50% staff. So I did 2 talks, and the first thing I said to the teachers, guys, I understand how difficult this job is for you, because I was one of the guys who used to make it difficult. You know what I mean? And I was like, but I'm not here to tell you how to teach, and I'm not here trying to batter you with this idea you should be social workers. I said, but let me just tell you how inspirational certain teaching figures were for me, how important they were for me, right? And how I owe my life to some of the teaching figures, and my education, and I told them that lived experience, and I told them where I came from. I showed them how bad it got. Just like today, I'm talking about the bad, but then I'm talking about the good and the transformative power they have. Because teachers are you're the first line and you're the last sometimes before the criminal justice, oftentimes,
So you talk about classroom sizes. What is your average classroom size?
Right now, probably you're talking about, you can have up to 32, 33 in a class at a time. But for a pupil support teacher, you're the pastoral care, so you are basically their main person in work that's caring for them at all times. In each house group, you've probably got about 220 kids in your house group that you're caring for every day. So it is, it's that.
How many education psychologists work in the school full time?
Right now, we have basically somebody who is in for the equivalent of 1 full day spread throughout the week. We've basically just brought in somebody there with our kind of PEF and SAC money, which you'll know a wee bit about, which has obviously been what the government has obviously given us to help kind of tackle the deprivation, kind of close the poverty gap. And we've brought in somebody from Bernardo's who's working in the school 1 day a week, who's fantastic. But she can only really work with kind of maybe 6 to 7 families a week. Now, when you've got 1,200 in a school and 57% of your kids are living in poverty, that's obviously not. Obviously, we would love to have it in full time, but obviously there's real kind of shortages really in terms of the capacity of support.
So here we go, right? So here's where I'm aware of. It's inconceivable to ask a teacher to manage 32 different pupils in a classroom setting. So they've all got different needs that are probably coming from, well, they are 57%, so more than half of them are coming to adverse experiences, i.e. poverty. And poverty are lots of drivers, not all the time, but often.
And that's not the same kids you're seeing for 6 hours a day. I mean, if you're a teacher in a high school, you're maybe seeing 10 classes a week of 32 kids. So obviously you're dealing with...
And we know that chronic stress is a massive driver to to illnesses and mental health problems like anxiety, depression. You know, there's no correlation between chronic stressful experiences, what are adverse experiences that reduce chronic stress response in the body, long-term and chronic stress. Symptoms of that are anxiety, long-term anxiety, predicting future events, when's the next time it's going to happen, which then leads to the lack of serotonin, which can lead to depression, which is treated by SRI treatment and stuff like that. How is it possible under the current setup now that a teacher can possibly be asked to be a front line and a navigator with potentially 50 or 100 people coming through a classroom daily, weekly basis? It's almost impossible for that to do that. And then if you look at, we've got an educational psychologist who will do a referral system who comes into your school once a day. It's completely underfunded, and it goes on to the conversation that we had the other day there, where we're taking it was Ian was talking about it, but we're talking about spending 300 million in building these different secure environments, where 35 million spent on early intervention and properly resourced and properly trained teachers. Not to teach. Teachers are phenomenal at teaching, but we're asking teachers to act like social workers often, mental health welfare officers. It's not possible. Do you know what I'm saying?
My concern is as well, especially what Callum's saying, I mean, we deal with lots of young people who are maybe on the kind of cusp of the justice system, like all teachers do when they're working in pupil support in school, and lots of those sometimes early intervention are very short term, and maybe we'll work with them for 2 or 3 weeks, and just sometimes when they're starting to see progress, that's maybe when they'll say, well, the need's not there anymore and we need to go to a family who are maybe kind of more in distress. So for me, if the programmes could be longer and sustained and could see them through like a period of their life, rather than, oh, we'll just kind of jump in and out when you're really at the point of when you're most in distress and you most need it.
So listen, what we're going to do, Siobhan, is thanks very much for this.
Thanks very much, that's brilliant.
Thanks, Siobhan.
I'll put it out to you, Graeme, for some closing comments, and then what we'll do is we'll stop the record button. So that'll be finished, and then we'll open everybody up and we'll just have a detailed, eclectic, free-for-all conversation about some of the points of time. Jerry Diamond's looking to come back in. So Jerry, when Graeme, a few minutes, we'll just unmute everybody and then we'll get back in. You, Graeme, just any final comments, any observations?
Guys, thank you very much. Honestly, like, these are so valuable because we've got a whole symposium, right, of different people with valuable opinions, you know what I mean? You've got life coaches like Jed, who's been there, done it, who's got it. We've got loads of members, just normal people in the community. Get professionals with academics. See these spaces, they're invaluable, honestly, and I've loved them, and I'm going to attend. I've attended every one so far, and I will be. I'm very privileged to have held one, so thank you. And just to say thanks to everybody that's spoken, you know, I totally respect and value what you're saying, and I think there's a gulf between this stuff and in policy making, you know, and if we can bridge a gap between when people actually sit down to say what happens in our country, what happens in people's lives, not just talking about budgets, I'm talking about outcomes, talking about people with knowledge like ours, with lived experience, with academic, when we put all that together, that's where progress lies, guys. And like, I feel like I'm very privileged to be a small part of that. Like the Violence Reduction Unit, albeit I'd mentioned them many times, they'd never actually engaged with me, but they've asked me to be on a panel next month with operational policing. You know, I'm a wee Ned Airdrie, do you know what I mean? To be asked to sit with operational police and talk is a great privilege, and I'm very proud of that, you know what I mean? And like, I feel like it's progress at last, you know? So thank you, guys. I just appreciate everybody being part of it. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Good stuff. So what I'm going to do is, just to finish up here, is just remember that the views that are expressed here are entirely our personal views. That we're encouraging people to have an unedited, open dialogue, which means that although we're talking about education settings, we may be talking about teachers, different organisations, we're not endorsing and but absolutely not opposing anybody. We realise that everybody's doing their best, and we're just trying to stimulate conversation. But when we have personal experience about navigating through certain areas and certain sectors, then we're asking people to share that ways, and you've done that excellently, and so some of the other contributors towards that. The next talk, again, is moving away from, again, we need to talk about the problem. Graeme done that brilliant, the dark side and then the light side. We're bringing another light worker in on Thursday, Angela Trainer, somebody who shines the light into darkness and has done for a number of years. We're going to be, the focus on this again is going to be as, what is the solution? What is the solution here? No, we know we're going to talk about the problem, but we want to start coming through to the solution. So just to talk about some of the areas that Graeme was talking about there. So what has been the solution for Graeme? Change your mind, get your mind working differently, like reading books, ways to do that, learn a new language, you can learn to juggle, there's loads of resources on YouTube, there's podcasts, there's audible books, online seminars, free Zoom stuff. What I'll do is I'm going to send an email out to everybody. Graeme's going to give us a wee bio where you can log into his social media, where you can look at his website, how you can order his book and stuff like that as well. So thanks for coming, and I hope you can come again on Thursday.